Thank you for listening today on Revealing Wholeness, sponsored by Infinity Whole Health. Check out our website at infinityWholeHealth.com, where we are revealing the eternal in each individual, the infinite in the individual. The creativity is made manifest. Limitation is let go. Now, here's your host, Dr. Troy Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness. And this is the third part, or part 3, for our men's health series. And we did the before 20s, and then we did the 20s, 30s to 40, and now we're in the 40s and 50s. And so if you're there, like I am there, you'll start to notice some things. This is where things start to break, I noticed. It doesn't have to be that way, but that here I am now in my early 50s, I'm thinking, okay, what's going to break next? You know, I tried to have those things because then it just happens. But I remember being early 40s and all of a sudden realizing, you know what? I think my heart is not so good. And this is where we start to see heart problems come in. And, you know, hopefully it's not you, but maybe it already is that maybe you're early 50s, late 40s, and you've already had that suspicious heart attack. Or maybe you've had a mild heart attack. Or now you're getting high blood pressure. Or things are breaking in your body and you're getting aches and pains all over and you're wondering why you can't do things like go hunting and walk more than 2 or 3 miles without feeling like you've just been run over. Maybe you're having some more vision issues, and hopefully this is not yet, but I'm starting to see these conditions earlier and earlier, that there now is prostate issues. My flow is off. I'm not having erections as well as I used to. They're actually soft and they're not firm. These are all things from guys that I hear fairly often. So let's kind of jump in here and talk about some of these conditions. Now, ultimately, they say arthritis is an old age condition, only because it takes many, many years to lay down calcium salts in a joint and start seeing problems. But by the time you start noticing arthritis or aches and pains all over your body, you already have a vascular problem. So let me say that again. If you're starting to consider arthritis as a possibility for you and wondering why your joints feel the way they do, then you have a vascular problem. You have a heart problem already. If you don't already have high blood pressure, it may be starting to creep up. And a word on high blood pressure. You should do some research on this, because blood pressure itself, they want to medicate sooner and sooner on blood pressure. They're now making normal blood pressure now the new high, so they can sell more medication. Please don't fall in for these traps. I can tell you 50, 60 years ago, blood pressure in people was like 180, 200 over 100, 120. And they lived a fine, long life. Now, granted, it probably wasn't the best thing, but they had significantly elevated pressure, but it wasn't so bad. And part of the reason is they had better nutrients than we did. So meaning they had better vitamin C, better calcium, better vitamin E. Those things tend to help the blood vessels stay repairing and healthy without being fragile or brittle and breaking. Like if you walk by your nightstand and you don't even have to hit it and you get a bruise, we know that your blood vessels are weak. But if you're like lightly getting tapped and you're noticing bruising on your skin, you got some problems you need to fix now. You got some vascular issues. And so from that standpoint, I want you to be very, very watchful of your body and how it's responding to certain things. If you're noticing things like aches and pains, then I want you to start considering, I've got to start doing some things now. And doing things doesn't mean doing exercise. If your heart's already unhappy and your joints are already unhappy, exercise is not what we want you doing, because that's taking more nutrients out of your body to run the machine at a higher velocity like athletics. So if you've been an athlete all your life and you haven't taken care of yourself, you probably already have heart problems. You just don't know it yet. And what I don't want is you to find out you have a heart attack, have heart problems by a massive heart attack that nearly kills you or does kill you. That's oftentimes, I think it's like 40%, almost 60% of the time, it's the first indicator that they have a heart problem is a massive heart attack that kills them. So you don't even get a chance. But your body's going to send you signals that there's a problem. And so aches and pains, swelling here and there, a little bit elevated pulse, blood pressure that may be off, those are some indicators that you need to start having some some better nutrient density protocols in your diet, so to speak, as a nice way to put it. What I'm saying is your diet's got to shape up. Now, if we already have things like erectile dysfunction and high blood pressure, and you're in your 40s and 50s, that's a huge indicator that we've got vascular problems, heart problems. And so as you start improving your vascular condition, meaning you start eliminating grains, you start eliminating sugar, you start eliminating all the crackers, chips, pop, all that stuff, and start lowering blood sugar, now all of a sudden calcium can start gumming into tissues a little bit better. Calcium is what drives muscle contraction, if you get my drift on erectile dysfunction. But we've still got some things to fix because you've been eating these empty grains, just washing all of these nutrients out of your body. Well, now you got to start getting them back in. And so that's high quality nutrition. So catch one of my podcasts that I put high octane foods, where to get the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. And so it's basic things that you can get around, but it's knowing what's high density and what's not. And so we don't want to do run of the mill, multivitamins from a grocery store. That isn't going to cut it. Those are synthetics, and there's like maybe 14 things in there, and that's about it, where your body needs thousands of phytonutrients. You need the real stuff. So let's start putting our money where our mouth is in terms of having good foods go into us. Yes, it might cost a little bit more, but are you worth it? Is having a great time in life worth it? Is having lots of energy worth it? Is sleeping really good worth it? If you're like, nope, I'd rather just live by my tongue and eat sweets and candy and yummy foods and not do anything else and just die whenever I die, great, then continue doing what you're doing. But if you'd like to do something else, then I would recommend that we start that process. So again, aches and pains from sports, if you've had lots of injuries in the past and have never addressed them, they're now creeping up on you. You may become very good friends with a very good chiropractor, and that will help. And doing some nutrition to help the joints repair and help your body begin to repair, that maybe at some point in time you'll actually be able to play sports again and not feel like everything breaks every time you do. So a little bit of going over there. So again, this is kind of an overall 40s and 50s. How do we cope through these times, and what do I need to start doing? I prefer that you start doing things here, because I really started getting serious about nutrition in about age 38. I eliminated grains at about age 45. And now in my early 50s, I can thoroughly tell you that I feel a heck of a lot better now than I did at 27. And so you can repair you at any age. It's just every day it takes a little bit more time, more energy, a little bit higher nutrient value. Every day doesn't get easier, it gets harder. And so start sooner, not later with this. So I hope this is a beautiful wake-up call for you and you take it to heart, literally, and that we get you healthier and healthier and watch your whole body perform and do things that you want it to do. So until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach Dr. Munson at 360-893-8586 or email him at chiroman@dr.com. That's chiroman@dr.com. Check out our current workshop schedule on Facebook at Infinity Whole Health.
The information on this podcast from Dr. Troy Munson is meant to educate the listener on a variety of health issues. It is not meant to diagnose or treat any conditions.